Alright, Chapter 6 of Secret on the Tarmac. Chapter 6, The Network Alert. Loretta Lynch postponed her news conference. We figured she was having discussions behind the scenes with Phoenix City leaders or something. Little did we know, she was having discussions about me, my information, and how to combat it all. People in positions like the one held by Loretta Lynch decide when they want to talk publicly. They sure as hell don't care about the local media. On this day, sorry, I'm cutting off my head. I know, you don't want to see me, but I hate cutting off my head. On this day, it was all about the local media. There was no national media nearby. In fact, it would be the national media who would attempt to thwart my story. The national media would later aim to discredit my story and even work with Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton staffers to come up with explanations and reasons why my story wasn't a story. Yep, it was nasty like that, and it was just the beginning. In the newsroom, I paced a lot. I was as nervous as a house cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Old cliche, but yeah, we get the image. My only concern was getting it right. Getting it all right. Once it was out, and there was no turning back. My bosses were methodical and knew we had to get it right. That's why Chris came to my desk after hearing the news conference was postponed and said, "I believe you, I do, but we have to protect ourselves, our brand, and our company. I need you to get a second source while we wait." I agreed. I knew it was the right thing to do, and Tyson nodded his head as well in agreement. Tyson was quick to reiterate that we had to get it right. People in the newsroom who weren't involved knew something was up. They knew it was a big story because Tyson had a focused, serious look on his face and paced about across the newsroom. It appeared he was deep in thought, going through a mental checklist. Essentially, Tyson was nicely blowing people off, thinking about the Tarmac meeting and a second source. As Tyson walked back to his desk, I was like a shadow. He said, "I can't find anything about Bill Clinton being here, so let me reach out to the network, ABC, and see if they have a good source involving Clinton and get a good source on this." It was a good call, the right call, and a horrible move at the same time. Little did we know the network would play town crier by alerting the Attorney General and ruining the entire surprise line of questioning. While Tyson emailed our colleagues at ABC News, I checked in once again with Rudy in the digital department to make sure we were good to go. Tyson told me he reached out to some high-level people within the new ABC News organization. Tyson was immediately directed to Network's Washington bureau. We didn't have a direct line to Bill Clinton's people or Loretta Lynch's staff, but Tyson figured someone with the network had a direct line of communication to quietly confirm Jay's tip. Keyword quietly. There was a sense of urgency, electricity, adrenaline, and focus, all at the same time. It was a big deal, yet just another news story at the same time. We approached every story the same way. Just get it right. As I was standing at the assignment desk, it hit me. Sorry, I got a visual of the assignment desk smacking me in the forehead. Sorry. I'm a dad joke fan, sorry. As I was standing at the assignment desk, it hit me. The idea of a second source came to me. A friend who I could count on, but this individual isn't supposed to be talking to the media. I found his cell number, sat down at my desk, and debated to myself about texting him or calling him. At the time I had a personal phone which he knew, but we rarely used except when he was talking trash about University of Alabama football or talking about off-the-record stuff. But this was different. It was really sensitive. I wanted to protect him like I did with Jay, my original source who tipped me off in the event he could help me. I had a work cell phone, as well that he refused to answer because he didn't want to be linked to me. So I picked up the phone. I decided to use the phone at my desk, my landline. I chose the landline because our phone calls from the newsroom show up on caller ID as a generic 602. Just 602. 602 is the area code for Phoenix, and no other numbers would appear. I figured maybe he would answer simply because he didn't know who was calling. Using the landline with the generic 602 seemed safer, just in case one of his colleagues or a supervisor or someone else spotted the caller ID, or in the event someone grabbed his cell phone to look at the call history of his previously received calls. It was a gamble, but it was the safest and most secure move. I dialed it, it rang twice, and he answered. "Hello," he said in an intense manner, like he was bothered or expecting a telemarketer. I immediately identified myself and said, "Hey, it's Chris Sign," I said. "I have a quick question. It's yes or no." He responded, "Okay, sounds good," which told me others were nearby. I said, "Would I be wrong if I reported that Bill Clinton and our Attorney General Loretta Lynch met on her plane yesterday on the west side of the airport?" His response, almost immediately, "You would not be wrong." I simply said thanks, and he said, "Okay, I'll see you later." There it was, my second source. This source was important not only because he verified the story, but also because this individual does not know Jay. Therefore, I had two independent sources. The sources didn't know one another, and both sources confirmed the meeting occurred. I had now officially and confidently gotten the goods, and I was good to go. Then came a problem, our own network. Tyson had already sent an email and spoke to ABC News, asking for help in confirming my original information. Without knowing about the impending problem, I walked back to the assignment desk and told Rudy to get ready because I had a second source. I quickly walked to Tyson and he said something like, "Okay, let's see what the network finds out." I notified Chris that I had the second source. With the web script ready, a second source confirmed, and reporter Katie in place, the decision was made to wait. We would wait to confront the Attorney General, and if Loretta Lynch tried to blow us off, Rudy would hit the publish button, and the story would immediately be published on our website. We all agreed that we had everything lined up, so why not wait and see if or how Loretta Lynch reacted. We knew that at this point there was no way she could deny the secret Tarmac meeting. And if she did, it didn't matter since we were publishing the online story. Then things really slowed down, oddly and weirdly slowed down. Not in the newsroom, but the flow of information coming from our crew in the field and our friends at ABC News, who were supposed to be helping us. As we were waiting, Tyson received a call from reporter Katie. She told us that Lynch's scheduled news conference has been delayed again, and she added Lynch's handlers promised that the media availability would still happen, but there was just a delay. What was going on? The City of Phoenix mayor at the time, Greg Stanton, was nowhere in sight, and the chief of police was not around. Members of the media were sitting in a room within the Phoenix Police Department, waiting on what was supposed to be a simple news conference with the Attorney General of the United States to talk about community policing under the Obama administration and ways to bring our communities together. So what was the holdup? We didn't know, and the news conference continued to get pushed back and pushed back. Once again, staffers informed the media the news conference would happen. They were just fine-tuning some items. However, it turned out they were fine-tuning the spin. On June 28th at 1:14 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, an ABC News producer emailed the Office of Public Affairs at the Department of Justice. "Hey guys, wanted to address something ASAP. Apparently our affiliate in Phoenix is hearing that the AG met with Bill Clinton on a plane last night for close to an hour. They seem to think it's somehow connected to the Benghazi report released today. In parentheses, I'm not sure what the connection would be. but hoping I can provide them some guidance ASAP. Thanks, Mike. And it never says what his last name was. Just Mike. 3 minutes later, at 1:17 p.m., Melanie Newman, director of the Office of Public Affairs at the DOJ, replied, "What's your number?" This started a flurry of emails back and forth between DOJ staffers. There's no telling what the ABC producer told the public relations gang at the DOJ about my information. I have no idea what the ABC news producer told the Office of Public Affairs director when the two spoke on the phone shortly after the first email. The whole thing pissed me off. For starters, we gave our ABC colleagues a bit of the information, so one of the big-name, well-connected correspondents could quietly use their sources. We were hoping for a quiet, maybe off-the-record conversation that would have quickly given us a second source. I could not understand why he would email that statement. Hell, I could have emailed the public affairs people at the DOJ. Anybody could have. Instead of quietly checking their sources, this ABC staffer emailed the DOJ asking for guidance. What the hell is guidance? Were they emailing for a comment or quote or guidance on what the hell to tell their little old affiliate in Phoenix so they would shut up? There were no secret texts or phone calls or a seasoned correspondent using their sources. It was a simple email with the title, "Bill Clinton meeting?" ? To this day, I have no idea if any of the top reporters with the network were even aware of the heads up we had provided. Instead, a generic email was sent directly to the Office of Public Affairs inside the Department of Justice. Did Mike, who crafted that email, really think some DOJ staffer would spill the beans and confirm the meeting in an email back to the network? The DOJ was now aware, in writing, by email, not in secret, that their staff on the ground in Phoenix should be made aware of what was headed their way. The email from ABC News to the DOJ was sent at 10:14 a.m. Phoenix time, which is 1:14 Eastern Standard Time. We were expecting Lynch's news conference to begin at 11 a.m. Phoenix time. The scramble inside the DOJ was underway, and the delay to get a game plan together was underway. What if that network producer didn't send the generic email alerting the DOJ to my information? What if Loretta Lynch and her team didn't have time to prepare and spin the message? Tyson later told me if he had to do it all over again, he would not have called the network and just waited for Loretta Lynch to react to reporter Katie's question. We were just local journalists doing our job, without bias or political leaning. We did everything right, from getting the tip, to verifying with sources, to only have it all thwarted by a single generic email asking for guidance. It turned out, oh, by the way, the word guidance is always italicized. Guidance. It turned out others on that national level would ask for guidance as well, rather than confirmation or reaction. I would later learn many on the national level didn't like my information at all, and some of the big dog journalists didn't even want to report that the secret meeting occurred, but I had proof. Meanwhile, our crew waited for Loretta Lynch to begin her news conference. Unfortunately, our team did know what was happening behind the scenes. Alright, so I would like to read Chapter 7, which is the juicy details of the meeting. And let's see, I'm not even halfway through, but I do want to read the rest of the book. So I am kind of limited on space on my phone, and it takes a while to upload these videos. So I'm going to stop right here. And Chapter 7, I would like to get it out today, maybe next week. I don't want to have to make you guys wait any longer, though. Buy the book. Just buy the book. Buy 2 of them. One for yourself and one for your friend. All right. Happy Friday and shalom.